3, 2, 1, action.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on another exciting session of the AUN Virtual Open House. Today offers us an opportunity to hear more about our fifth school and, of course, one of the most important schools here at AUN, the School of Information Technology and Computing. And I have with me 2 faculty members and 2 students who will be walking us through the SITC. And I'm going to start my introductions from my immediate right. So please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I am Dr. Amwibele. I'm the Chair of Data Science and Analytics in SITC. Thank you very much.
I'm Daniel Layong, a student of AUN Computer Science major, School of Information Technology, SITC.
Good morning, everyone. I am Anulu Akothe Bankole, Admissions Office and Admissions Coordinator here at AUN.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kalu Chinidunobu, the Software Engineering major with Software AUN. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rao Narasimha Vajara. I'm the chair of the Information Systems program.
Thank you so much. And as is the tradition, I'm going to go over now to our interim president, Professor Attahir Yusuf, who will give us an insight into AUN.
The vision of the founder of Nigeria is
Can we last for 10 minutes?
It's for AUN to be development university, focused on the development of Nigeria and the African continent in general, and through entrepreneurship development. For this, we use the liberal arts American education system, which is designed to broaden the lives of students in thinking and abilities to profile solutions. And when we talk about development here, we are not specific to only economic development, but development in general, including social development, political development, technological development, community development, and so on and so forth. And when we talk about entrepreneurship again here, we go beyond the setting up of a business, but we look at entrepreneurship as a process that creates and adds values to all undertakings. And this involves the identification of opportunities and exploiting these opportunities that will lead to advancement in the lives of our people, our country, and the continent as a whole. So all AUN programs or activities are designed fundamentally to achieve this vision. Academically, we broaden the thinking mind of our students and instill in them entrepreneurship orientation, irrespective of their majors. And we do this through a variety of entrepreneurship courses and many different modern instruction delivery methods. Our students are developed not only with the tools and knowledge required to work for others, but with the tools and knowledge to work for themselves and create and add value to society by providing goods and services and employment opportunities. We equally involve our students to appreciate the importance of economic development. And we do this by experientially involving them in the development of the communities around the university. And by the time they graduate from this university, service to community is ingrained into their psyche and many of them have gone to become community leaders and philanthropists after graduating. We also have an institute that we call Atiku Institute, which handles many development projects for international organizations such as USAID, FAO, UNICEF, UNHCR, GIZ, and a host of others. These projects tremendously impact the northeast region of Nigeria. And through these projects, our students get first-hand knowledge on many development issues, and our faculty members also get research opportunities. We also emphasize on the international outlook for the university, with our students and faculty members coming from different parts of the world. We are actually a melting pot of ideas, a melting pot of experiences, a melting pot of knowledge. And this enables us to mold our students to have very, very broad mind and very good understanding of not only regional but also global issues. And the campus is basically a technology campus because we emphasize on the use of technology to deliver instructions, to do our projects, and a host of other things. We take entrepreneurship very, very seriously. For instance, each and every student that comes through the American university system in Nigeria, here in Yola, has to take fundamental entrepreneurship courses. They also have to do an entrepreneurship practicum. This practicum involves the university giving grants to classes to identify opportunities, profile solutions to the opportunities, design the mechanisms of profiling that solution in terms of identifying the products, identifying the markets, identifying the sources of financings and everything. And by the time they finish the project, a product or a service is actually created. And we have experiences where some of these creations are translated into business reality by the students when they graduate. So the American university system is a foremost university in the area of development and the generation of students with capacity for independence to contribute significantly to the development of their societies and country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Attahir Yusuf, for your wonderful remark. And now I'll come back to our wonderful faculty. So, Prof, please, would you kindly walk us through the School of Information Technology and Computing, because I know that our young listeners or young viewers out there would like to know about the courses, the uniqueness of the courses here at AUN, and most importantly, the prospects for them out there after graduation.
All right, so the SITC actually has about 4 departments. One of it is computer science, the other one is software engineering, the other one is information systems, and last but not the least, data science and analytics. I'm the chair of data science and analytics, so I would like to talk more on that. Then after that, I'll hand it over to Prof. Rao, who will walk us through the other courses. As all of you know, data science is actually very novel. Interestingly, AUN is the first university in Nigeria doing data science and analytics. And all of you know that data is the new oil. So data comes from any source. It can come from the medical line, it can come from academia, it can come from any source at all. So AUN is positioned in such a way that we teach our students to make meaning out of this data. And it's not just the theory, we do the practicals as well. And this graduates will fit into the market, because we have a lot of NGOs, we have a lot of the research environment, we have international multimedia
program in computer science. We have an undergrad program in software engineering, and we also have an undergraduate program in information systems, and we have a graduate program in information systems as well, including both masters and PhD. So, and apart from these, we have also started, as Prof. Amos said, data science. We have an undergrad master's program in data science, and we also have a hybrid program where students can do part of the program in campus and part through online mode. This is a hybrid program, also a graduate program. Now for information systems or computer science or software engineering, depending on where the students find their interest, the first 1 year is pretty much the same in the sense that students get to do the general education, the basic computer science courses. So there is a lot of time for students to make up their mind to see where they want to go. For example, a student may join in computer science initially, and then he decides that, okay, I find more interest in software engineering. He can actually make a move in the second or third year, depending on how many courses he has taken. So there is a flexibility within the program for students to change their mind if they find their interest in one particular area. Apart from that, in software engineering, they are pretty much more or less ready to join the software industry once they finish. There is a lot of demand for software developers, for mobile application development. So software engineering is a great major for all those students who plan to have a career path on that line. When it comes to information systems, it is a mix of management, business, and computing. So students who want to have a mixed experience working with both the managerial aspects of information systems, they would pretty much choose MIS or information systems as their major. We have several concentration areas within information systems. For example, students can choose database administration, they can also choose information security, assurance, and there are another 2 or 3 more tracks which they can choose from within information systems. The same way for computer science, also they have certain areas of specialization which they can choose. For example, they can choose for artificial intelligence, they can choose blockchain and cryptocurrencies. So we have very specialized areas within computer science as well. So this is a brief introduction of the programs. So if you have any questions, or I'll give it back to
Thank you so much, Prof. Okay, when it comes to information technology, computing, the whole package, of course, there are so many universities out there that are offering these programs, but we would like to know what sets AUN apart.
Yeah. Well, we follow the American model, which is the liberal arts education, which basically means students get a broader perspective and then they start choosing their specialization. And they get a mix, and what makes AUN different from other universities is we not only teach students the core aspects of computer science, information systems, but also we make sure that once they finish it, they're ready for the industry. Right? So we have a lot of collaborations. We have collaboration with Oracle Academy. We also have collaboration with EC Council, so which is for cybersecurity, and we also have an ACM student chapter. So those students who want to do research, for example, they get the chance to work with ACM, organize events. We have an ACM student chapter which is hosted within AUN. We also have an AIS chapter, which is the Association for Information Systems, and we follow a process of continuous curriculum development to make sure that we are meeting the needs of the industry. So we continually engage with the industry, and we try to make sure that all our students, once they graduate, they're ready for the industry.
Thank you, sir. And back to you, Prof. Like you rightly mentioned, AUN is the first university offering data science, and I'm sure that you've piqued the interest of many, many people out there. So can you tell us more about, what prospects are out there for, students who who engage with data science?
Yes, so there are a lot of prospects when you deal with data science and analytics, because when you talk about data science and analytics, you want to make meaning, right? Give me any data, I'll make meaning out of it. So, for example, the oil and gas industry has huge data that they need someone to process. The government needs people to do meaning out of data so that they can get good decision. The NGOs, right? We have a lot of NGOs around the HRV, all of that. We can make meaning out of that. Again, the international community, they really need graduates from this kind of university so that they can be able to make meaning out of data. For startups, for companies in Nigeria, we always need people to come check the data, payrolls, check everything and understand, are there fraudulent activities? Are we doing the right thing? Are we making right decisions? We deal with data, right? So once we graduate the students, they will fit the industry. So it's very important for us to understand the importance of data science and analytics, and we are here to actually produce graduates that fit into this. So our graduates will really be hot cake. They will not be looking for jobs. Again, not only the jobs, they will really be able to start up their own industries and make Nigeria a better place. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. That was remarkable.
Yeah.
And now down to what I like to call user experience. As you know, you're the young ones and you are very much more relatable to the young people like you out there, who are eyeing AUN. So I would want you to tell these young people what your experience has been at AUN, right from the moment you got here, throughout these 3-4 years you've been here, the learning in the classroom and outside the classroom. So tell them what to expect and tell them, all the goodies that are out here waiting for them.
Okay, actually, this is my second year.
Okay.
This is my second year, and I came here last year 4. So the amount of time, the period I spent in AUN is actually incredible. I didn't expect it to be this good. So I'm not trying to do the whole marketing stuff, but honestly, I'm a software major, as I said earlier, and as I've come to AUN, I've noticed that AUN is not just training you for your major, but it's also training you for other aspects of life. So this is my second year, so the small time I've been here, I've learned a lot. Every semester I go back home, I'm like, oh, I've achieved something. I am better than how I came. So that's one thing I'm really grateful for. So coming down to SITC, that's why we are here. So my major SITC, I'm doing Python right now, and one thing I love about the lectures is the interactive mode of teaching that the lecturer uses. So let's say every 2 weeks we have these practice labs that we do in class. We make sure everybody is engaged, because if he just teaches, give theory, so people may not understand, apart from people that really have this inner interest in software engineering. So that's really helps. Sometimes maybe if I'm off, the practice lab will bring me back. I have to go to someone, please, what are you doing, what's going on, and I get back on track. So that's really helped me. And every topic he gives us, they give us practice assignments. So like last time we did calculator assignment, told us to use Python to create a calculator app, told us to create a discount calculator app. So even if you are not interested in it, when you have this assignment, you my grades and stuff like that. But like when you now sit and look at the assignment, it will dawn on you that you're actually having fun. The assignments are really fun. By the time you are done creating an app, you look at it and you're like, oh, am I the one that really did this? So that's one thing I'm really grateful for, and I'm sure that that's a very big difference between AUN and most universities, because that practical aspect, I'm not really sure is there. And this is my first university, so by the way, so yeah, and that's really a nice benefit of coming to AUN. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I like what you said about interaction, because when you speak to our career center, what Madam Grace will always tell you is that nobody is here to teach you. That's why we call them instructors.
Yes.
We are not teaching you, we are instructing you, and yes. So down to you, please tell, our young listeners out there, of course, your own experience, but most importantly, what are you excited about after school? What are your plans? You know, what you carry, the knowledge you carry from AUN. What do you intend to do with it outside AUN?
Okay. So I'm in my third year, but like I came to this school last year. So I transferred from school in the US to AUN. And honestly, I can say like the standard of the school is very comparable to schools abroad, and from my experience. The education is up to par, everything it's amazing you can get like such a value from here in Nigeria comparable to like schools in the US. So for as long as I can remember, I've always been passionate about technology, and it's something that I really like spend most of my time thinking about. So AUN is a place where that's helped me develop this passion into both knowledge and skills that I can use for the future. And my own personal goals is after I leave AUN is to work on my own like business ideas and technology. And like AUN has not only taught me like skills of how to accomplish such goals, but like the business aspect and networking with other students and faculty members who sort of guide you towards your future path. So it's been honestly an amazing experience here.
Okay, thank you so much. So I have one more question for you. Now, I know AUN is America in Nigeria, but I would want you to tell us, you know, how different does AUN feel from, you know, your former school in the US rather?
Honestly, it's very similar. We are Nigerians after all, and there's always a cultural difference, but like the way things are structured, the culture of the school itself is honestly very like almost identical to like the way American schools are run, from the grading system, the way knowledge is just like the way things are taught to us is honestly very comparable, and it's really like a good value, like bargain value for those who may not at the moment be able to like go and study abroad. They can get a really good education in this school.
Okay, thank you so much. Before I come back to our professors, Miss Anu, we missed you yesterday. So, as usual, I would like you to intimate, you know, our viewers about our admission processes, our requirements, you know, everything that they need to know. But I also want to ask, you know, for the benefits of those who wish to know, that if a student, of course, we are heading into our spring semester very soon, and admissions are on already. So for those who cannot enroll, you know, during the spring semester, is there any hope for them?
Absolutely, there is hope for them. So before I answer your question, I'll first of all apologize to our viewers. Yesterday I was unavoidably absent. And then I'd like to borrow some words from our students here. If you keenly listen to what they were saying, they kept on emphasizing on the mentorship they get from both faculty and students, and then the networking opportunities they get. So these are very, very important values that you get when you come to AUN. Now, that being said, let's move on to the admission aspect of things. So yes, regardless of whether you're able to enroll for the spring semester, which will be in January, to commence in January, or not, you will be able to enroll for the fall semester, which will commence in August. Now, if you're not able to enroll for the spring semester, you'll be able to enroll for the August semester, which is the fall semester. This so at AUN we have a rolling admission cycle. That's what we like to call it. However, we have intakes twice a year. So there's one in January, there's one in August, because we do understand that the Nigerian system, is quite different from the American curriculum. However, we have incorporated this into our admissions process to be able to accommodate the needs of all our prospective students. So now you're rest assured that you can gain admission. So even if you apply to AUN in January and for some unforeseen circumstances you're not able to join us in January, you can defer your admission to August, and that's absolutely fine. Now, for the SITC, the School of Information Technology and Computing, required JAMB combinations will be typically any science student in the Nigerian high school can enroll into the School of SITC, the programs in SITC. However, I like to advise people that are keenly interested in tech, and this passion is always what will drive you. You don't want to come enroll into a program that at the end of the day, you lose interest and stuff. However, even if you lose interest, like our professors have said, it's a liberal arts university. So your first 2 years, you can basically test the waters, figure out what you're interested in, figure out what you're good at, what you're passionate about, and then you can, fit into that program and, graduate. Another thing I want to point out will be the uniqueness of the AUM program, where you can graduate with double majors, you can graduate with a major and a minor, you can also concentrate, like they said, specialize in certain, fields. So for example, you're a high school student and then you have a head for tech. However, in your high school, you were a social science student, or you were, an arts student, but you really have a head for tech. It's fine. You can enroll into any of the arts program, and then you concentrate or minor in a tech program. All right. So you will find that we have students here in AUN that are studying international and comparative politics, and they are also minoring in probably something like cybersecurity, cryptos and blockchain, and all of that. And then they go out there, and then their prospects have increased tremendously because they can fit into any field. So those that want to move on, probably like a master's, can go on in the tech field or the tech track. So this is basically just to encourage all our viewers out there that even if you do not have those subjects that we have mentioned, for enrolling to probably like major in a course. So when you hear us using the terms like major, we just mean obtaining a BSc or a BTech in these courses. You can definitely enroll and still have a minor or a concentration in these courses, which pays you because at the end of the day you can have a master's and then gradually develop and really find your path in life. So,
thank you so much, Ms. Anu. Okay, Professor Rao, there's this question we keep getting all the time. There are students who may wish to maybe switch. Students who may not necessarily have the IT background but wish to switch, So if they come here, is there going to be like a kind of soft landing for them? Will they be able to navigate their way through the system? Even though they do not have the IT background, can they survive here?
Yes, actually, that is a very good question, because in the very first semester when students join, one of the classes they first take is CIE 111, which is basically the introduction to computing. So they basically learn software packages like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access. So that is how basic it can get when you join. So we really don't expect that you are already aware of these and you know how to use them. So you still have the very first semester, you only do one IT course. And the second semester as well, even if you have chosen a major like information systems, software engineering, we start from scratch, basically from the very basics of programming. So we assume that everyone who has joined has not done any or has no prior programming experience or no prior IT knowledge. So as you mentioned, it is pretty much a soft landing. So you start from the basics, and as you move on, that is the reason the first couple of semesters you take a lot of general education courses, gen ed courses like history or physics, so it's an American liberal arts system. So you have a lot of choice of general education courses in the first couple of semesters. The actual major courses, they pretty much start from the second semester, starting with introduction to databases, introduction to programming, and as you move on, students start taking more from their major. So,
thank you so much. Now down to the liberality at AUN. Kalu, you're a software engineer.
Software major.
Exactly. So, but you have so much interest in CMD. So, can you tell us, how the advantage and the versatility that gives you?
Okay, so as she said, I'm a software major. I don't only have interest in CMD. I'm an instrumentalist. I'm a basketballer. I'm in clubs. I joined the school club. So like AUN has given me this opportunity to put my hands in different areas. As she said, testing the waters. So AUN, the schedule in school here doesn't just make you streamline to your course, your subject area, but it gives you opportunity, the time, schedule, and everything. So you always have time to do other things of your interest. So during Sunday services, I play instruments in church. During the weekends, I attend clubs. So these different things enhances my learning in school. It builds my IQ. It makes me think faster. It makes me learn how to work with groups. And even during our courses, they give us opportunity to have group assignments, talk to each other, learn how to lead, learn how to be a leader, and learn how to work under someone. So like all these opportunities contribute to build and mold you as a student of AUN. And when you graduate, you see yourself different from other students. And that's what distincts AUN students. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And down to CMD, Ms. Anu, yesterday was the session with the School of Arts and Science, but somehow we left out this very important component because there's always the issue of, okay, I want to study mass comm, but it's like AUN doesn't have mass comm. But what they don't understand is what we have is CMD, the communications and multimedia design. So can you please tell our viewers much, what the CMD program is about and the prospects in there for them?
Okay, yes. So a lot of people in Nigerian system, what they define CMD as is mass communication. However, here, being that AUN is an American university and then we operate on the American style of learning, it is called communication and multimedia design. Now in communication and multimedia design, there are several tracks that our students can go into. So one of which is journalism. So if you're interested and passionate about reporting, you're interested in telling stories and all of that, you can go into journalism. Another thing would be photography. So when you're talking about photography, people just wonder, why would you pay money to go and study photography? But there is so much in photography that if you study as a course, you will learn. Now you will learn how to tell stories with photographs without having to put words there. You can tell stories, and when people just see it, it's like they're in the story. They can really feel the emotions and all of that in the pictures that you share and the story you're trying to tell through pictures. So there's so many other tracks that if you're interested in, you could go into, you could venture into, and communication and multimedia design is really versatile in the sense that if you graduate as a CMD major here at AUN, you could even fit into political science, where you're dealing with, you now see job roles like communication specialist. Nobody really says that people are journalists now. There are so many ways that they coin that those roles, but at the end of the day, it's basically journalism, and there are different sections to journalism which you'll be exposed to here at AUN. And the beautiful aspect is that, like our students said, there is always the practical aspect. So even before you graduate, you already have a feel of what to expect in real life. So it's not just about the theory. You're thinking about the practicals. How do I apply the knowledge I have gotten in the classroom into real life? Because at the end of the day, they say it's that knowledge is the application of principles. So if you're not able to apply those principles, at the end of the day, you can't say that you have acquired knowledge, and that's what we do here at AUN. So this is basically, briefly, what you stand to gain if you study CMD. And I'm sure Kalu is enjoying that.
Thank you so much, Miss Anu. You know, when you say photography, I get animated because one of our alums is doing exceptional in the photojournalism industry. That's Nelly Ating. Miss Nelly Ating, she won several awards. In fact, she was nominated for one of those CNN awards. So we are super proud of her.
Yes, and we even have another alum that works with the government.
Oh yes, yes. She's doing well too. Yes, that's true. So, Prof, you know, we have, talking about our alums who are doing well out there, one of such alums is Michael Njoku, you know, MC Njoku, very famous guy. His company was just recently acquired by ASECO, you know, I think the 5th largest corporation in Europe. So, what are you doing, you know, to instill this discipline in, you know, our students, such that they go out there and they're just doing so remarkably, building businesses, employing people? You know, of course, AUN trains the students not to be job seekers, but to be job providers or job creators. So what are you instilling in them? What training are you giving them in the classroom and even outside the classroom that they become so amazing out there?
Yeah, so the interesting thing we are doing here is that we don't just teach the student, we do what is called hands-on. So by hands-on, we mean we teach them how to develop these applications. So for example, when we are doing Python programming, we don't just teach them codes, we tell them, okay, you have to do labs. Again, the interesting thing about each faculty member in AUN is we have office hours. So after we teach, students can actually knock on our door, and then we actually explain these things to them in detail. So we're telling students, look, it's not just about you cramming basically what we've taught you. No, we're not worried about that. We're more worried about, do you understand what we are teaching? Can you translate this knowledge into basically a product? And once you have a tangible product out there, the external community is actually going to actually take it up. For example, we're guiding some students in SITC now that are developing an application for mental health analysis. Most of the Nigerians don't even want to admit that they have mental health challenges, and so the SDP students, those are our senior students now, they've developed a fantastic package that actually studies the metrics that will show that someone has a little bit of mental challenge. Mental problem is not really that bad if you identify it in time. We deal with some features, we take them into our software, and they actually producing a solution. They are linking up supposed mental health people with counselors, right? So it's actually a total package already, and they're just finishing up down. Once they get out of AUN, they can translate that into a full package that actually the health sector can take, the Ministry of Health can take on it. And so in SITC, all we are saying is understand first the theories, take it down to the practicals, get a product, and once you do this, you get out there and then you add value to the society. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prof. I really love the fact that you brought up the issue of mental health, because this is a conversation that we are not really having, and we can't run away from that because it's something that is happening. And I really love the fact that AUN stays with the trend. A progressive organization is one which monitors the trends and does something about it.
Definitely.
You know, and mental health is a worry on every parent's mind. Of course, especially when you're sending your young child to school, you worry that, okay, how is he going to cope? What is in place to, you know, help such a student when he struggles? And it's really remarkable that AUN has, you know, such structure, you know, to help students. So, Ms. Anu, please tell us what is required for, you know, a student like Daniel who wishes to, you know, transfer. What are the steps required for students who wish to transfer, especially into SITC?
Absolutely. So thank you so much, Grace. So just to put this out there, any student that is currently enrolled in a university can transfer into any of our 6 schools rather. You could transfer your credits. So the major thing to have at the back of your mind is the grading system. So the Nigerian system basically has imitated the British style of education, right? And then the American system basically just stands on its own. So we have adopted the American style. So we predominantly run on the American style. However, for certain schools, they have also incorporated the Nigerian and the British style of education. So since we are predominantly running on the American style of education, it means that our grading system will follow the path of the American style education, and that's why the grading system here at AUN is the highest in the country. And I'll say it again, the grading system here at AUN is the highest in the country. So we get a lot of comments when you go, out there, and then they're like, in Nigerian schools, once you get a 70, you have an A, So I'm sure Kalu and our students will tell you, oh no, that's not true. You need to work twice as hard to get an A. Yeah. However, the modes of grading is very different. So we're not like typical Nigerian universities where every time you have to sit down, you have to write exams, you have to cram, so you garbage in and garbage out. A lot of the questions are scenario based, real life questions where you have to apply the principles that you have learned in the classroom. Sometimes you don't write exams, you have to write a term paper, basically what you have done the entire semester, applying those principles. So with that, that's what you get outside the country. So with that, you already have an understanding that it's not just about the grades, it's basically about what you have in there. We will want to find out what you're passionate about and all of that. But regardless, your grades are still very important. So firstly, we'll need a transcript from your previous university just to track your academic progress over time. So with your academic transcript, we can get a sense of that. Regardless, please don't be discouraged in case you have poor grades and you feel like, oh no, I did so poorly, I can't get into AUN. That is not the case. We fully understand that exams are not the true criteria or the criterion to assess or gauge in knowledge that has been impacted. There are so many other yardsticks that we would use here at AUN. So please do not be discouraged. Still reach out to us, and our admissions counselors will be there to walk you through the entire process. So once you provide us with your academic transcript, you also provide us with recommendation letters. Let's hear what instructors that you have worked with or your professors that you have worked with think about you, your personality, how you're able to cope under stress and all of that. So once we have your transcript, you have your recommendation letter, we have your credentials, that's your birth certificate and all of that, your passport. Then we begin to review, and then we give you a response. So typically here at AUN, you will get a response or a feedback when you apply in 2 weeks. So which is pretty fast in the country. So we are always on top of our game here. Yes.
Wonderful, Ms. Anu. Now down to one very important component. Please kindly tell our viewers about our fees, and the fee structure.
Okay, so so here for the SITC, the tuition fee is 1,110,000. You will get that on our website as well. And we have, as usual, when I say this, I know that you always have ears tingling and tongues wagging. However, we have a plan in place which we call the deferred payment plan. It has 2 options where you can installmentally pay your fees, and it gives you the opportunity to breathe here at AUN. So in case you're a student and you're going to sponsor yourself, you can break it. And in case you're a parent, with the economic trends, things are a little bit difficult, you're trying to just, make ends meet, you can still afford AUN. So please disregard whatever people are telling you about how expensive AUN is, because the truth be told, AUN is expensive, but not as expensive as what you would get should you not enroll. Right? So they say if you feel education is expensive, try ignorance. Right? So I would also apply that to AUN. If you feel AUN is expensive, try other universities and probably go to an interview and see the glaring difference, you know. And then you already have, you know, our alums that are doing so well. We have some of our alums in Google, you know, all already working and all of that. So I mean, I really and honestly feel that if you need to pay 1,110,000 for tuition fees to be able to access networking opportunities like this is a little price to pay. And then all the amenities and then the world-class faculties that you also meet. I mean, even from this panel, you can already tell that you interact with people from diverse backgrounds, you know, and all. And even our students too are also from diverse backgrounds. We have a couple of students from South Africa, Rwanda, Uganda, Cameroon, and so on. We even have some students that come all the way from Egypt. You know, we have some alums that came from Egypt as well. So if you, knowing that you would interact with people like this, I feel like, and then there's a deferred payment plan. It is only something you plan towards, because at the end of the day, you're looking at the quality and the value you're getting compared to how much you need to sacrifice. So yes, and then I also know that there are parents out there that, I mean, 1.1 million is nothing really. So in fact, in the economy we are in, 1.1 million is nothing, but then we know it's also something. So that's why we have the deferred payment plan, and we look forward to seeing your word enroll with us in January. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss. And honestly, like you said, if you feel education is expensive, try ignorance. And you know, we have parents who have enrolled 3, 4, 5,
up to 5 children.
Yes, 5 children here, because they know the value they are getting.
Yes.
So honestly, like I always say, not to sound selfish, when you come to AU and you are spoiled for choices,
Absolutely.
the opportunities here are boundless. You know, you will never regret making a choice to send your child here. So before we go, please, I would like to hear from each one of you. Why choose AUN and why SITC?
So basically, AUN is the best place you can ever have in Nigeria, and I think even Africa, because we have state-of-the-art facilities. We have what it takes to produce any graduate to fit into the market and even start up a business and become the best at what he or she does. So please choose AUN, and we'll look forward to seeing you. Thank you.
Technology is a new and developing field in the world, and especially in Nigeria. You need a school with cutting-edge facilities and education system, and AUN is a school that will provide you with that and will equip you for the world, like at large and also in Nigeria.
It's funny how when you talk about computing, you talk about computers, you always expect to see people that are nerds. But I think sitting here on the table, you can get a feel of how expressive some of us can be. And everything in life has to do with data. So if you want to be able to analyze life, if you want to be able to make guided and well-rounded decisions, then you need to take into account the data you're getting in. And that's exactly what SITC gives you and offers you. And here at AUN, you'll be able to not only get and collate data, you'll be able to analyze it, and you'll be able to build up solutions that not only help you, but also add value to the community that you find yourself. And that's why we pride ourselves as a development university. Thank you.
So honestly, I'm waiting for this opportunity to say that AUN is actually the best school I've actually ever come across. I know some people from other parts of Nigeria, maybe the south, the east, may not want to come to AUN due to the rumors that the north is this, the north is that. I live in the south, I live in Akwa Ibom State, and I know how much I really wanted to come to AUN. That is why I had to pray about it, I had to beg my parents about it, and thank God there are people who be listening ears, and they didn't listen to other people, what people were saying, like friends in church and stuff like, do not, your son, and I'm here now. I finished my first semester, I'm still here, people are talking. I finished my second semester, I'm still here, and my third semester now. So AUN is a place for great opportunities. So I advise you to bring your child here, your ward here, you won't regret it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So AUN has some of the best standards, as my colleagues have told, but I've worked abroad in different countries in Asia, in Europe, in Africa also, and AUN is among the top of the places. It is at par with international standards. We encourage students to be entrepreneurs, to have their own startups, and students have a very bright future. From what I have seen, most of the alumni are doing pretty well. Either they have started their own companies, or they're working in international companies, or some of them have gone with higher education. They have gone to the masters, the doctoral studies. So yes, there are plenty of opportunities. It is the best place, at least from what I've seen. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You know, AUN is not just a safe campus, but AUN is also located in a safe city.
Yeah.
And you know, one thing we always do is, when parents come here, we give them a guided tour of not just our campus, but also our city. And if you want to know how peaceful a city is, go to the market. Because the market is the heartbeat of that city. And so we take our parents out and they see for themselves. And before you know it, every fear just dissipates. So AUN is, you know, situated in one of the safest cities in Nigeria. And that's the truth. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We look forward to having you this spring semester. If you have any questions, please feel free to call our numbers. They're available on our website. And also, I encourage you to go to the website. Every single information you need is there on the website. You see all our schools, you see all our faculties, you see, you know, where they've been, and you know what they have that makes them the cream of, you know, the AUN. So thank you so much and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.